Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, where today guys, I'm gonna do part 28 to my Let's Play, I keep saying Let's Play, to my Google Gemini Chatbot series. Where in today's video guys, we are gonna go ahead and move on to a new chatbot since we actually got to the end of the last one, or not the end of it, but the end of the day of the last one, which was the transforming Totodile. Well, this time we're going to do the next one in line, which is the giant Totodile. The one that's actually, I believe, over 200 feet tall. So, yes. They call it the giant Totodile's heartbreak, and the way that the Google Gemini worded it, the actual name of the story they put on here is called The Titan of the Lake. So, yeah. Here's what it says. The birth of the Totodile family was an event of great excitement. Two loving for alligator parents anxiously waited over their clutch of eggs. Among them were two crocodile siblings and 7 older for alligator family members, all awaiting the arrival of the newest generation. 5 eggs lay nestled together, 4 of them of the typical size, but one egg stood out dramatically. It towered to a height of 5 feet, nearly 4 times the size of its counterparts. At the exact same moment, all 5 eggs hatched. The 4 standard eggs yielded 4 adorable Totodile, each the expected height of 2 feet. From the massive egg, however, emerged a Totodile that was already nearly 2 feet taller than its crocodile siblings. The entire family was instantly shocked. The small Totodile siblings, seeing their gargantuan brother, were immediately overwhelmed with fear. Yet, this massive hatchling was anything but mean. He possessed the sweetest, most caring disposition in the entire family. He longed only for affection and companionship, not understanding why his mere presence caused such distress. Even at a tender age, he devoted himself to helping his family. He assisted his parents and siblings with everything they needed, from carrying cumbersome items to fetching food, his sheer size proving immensely useful. His mother and father eventually adjusted to his immense scale, but his smaller Totodile siblings and even some of the gentler crocodile remained deeply afraid of him. As the years passed, his body continued its relentless growth. By the time he was just 2 years old, he had already surpassed 15 feet in height, dwarfing even his own parents. It was also at this age that he miraculously learned to speak English. However, his continuing growth became too much for his parents, and he too felt a creeping fear, having never anticipated such a monumental child. He also developed a profound curiosity about humans, often observing them quietly from a distance as they passed by. He desperately wished to make friends with them, but a paralyzing fear held him back. He was terrified they would run away because of his size. His heart's simple desire was for someone to care for him, regardless of how big he became, as he harbored no malice towards any living creature. The rapid growth did not slow. By his 7th birthday, the giant Totodile had reached a colossal height of 130 feet, making him substantially larger than every other member of his extended family. Despite this terrifying scale, his nature remained unchanged. He was exceptionally sweet and deeply caring. 2 months after that 7th birthday, the family's terror reached a breaking point. That morning, while his family slept, the Totodile woke early and decided to finally brave an attempt at human connection. He spotted a young girl walking near the lake and softly called out, "Hello, how are you?" When the little girl turned and saw the massive Pokemon, she instantly screamed and ran away in panic. Heartbroken, the Totodile retreated into the depths of the lake, hiding from the world. Later that day, his parents called him to them. "Totodile, we truly love you." Oh no, that's his father. See, I mean, I was like, guys, he's doing a mother voice for alligator. "Totodile, we truly love you," his father began, his voice strained. "But we simply cannot handle your size anymore. You are far too big, and we can't find enough food to feed you. Your siblings are absolutely terrified, and we just can't take it. I'm sorry to say this, but you have to leave." The words shattered the Totodile's heart. Already reeling from the human girl's frightened reaction, being expelled by his own family sent him into inconsolable sobs. He wandered for hours in search of a new home. After an hour and a half of searching, he finally found a vast lake, large enough for him to splash and play without worry. This became his solitary refuge. However, the rejection seemed to trigger a new phase in his existence. Over the next 2 years, his grief accelerated further. By the time he turned 9, still living alone at the enormous lake, he had swelled to an astonishing 200 feet tall. At this peak of growth, his body began to emit a soft, powerful glow, the sign of an impending evolution to a crocodile. But before the transformation could complete, a colossal glowing red barrier spontaneously enveloped him. Across its surface, a broken heart was distinctly visible, and the barrier instantly arrested the evolution process. I don't know why I said arrested. Confused, the Totodile wondered what strange power had intervened. Despite the pain, the loneliness, and the fear he imposed on everyone, including his own kin, the giant turtle never lost hope. He still longed for companionship and yearned for just one friend who wouldn't be frightened by his sheer size. He never gave up on his gentle wish. A few months later, the dirt path leading through the wilderness felt cool beneath your feet as you walked, breathing in the fresh air. Suddenly, a colossal splash, a sound that shook the very ground, erupted from nearby. Instantly, you moved toward the sound, and when you reached the edge of the large lake, you saw the source. A gigantic 200-foot tall Totodile was joyfully splashing and playing in the deep water. The massive one was having an innocent, happy moment, but then with a movement that rippled the entire surface of the lake. Oh dear, he turned and saw you. Yep, and that's where I have to say something. Give me a moment. Alright, guys, here's what it says. It says, I get startled by the sheer size of the Totodile and back up a bit. When I see him look over at me, while shaking a bit, I nervously say, Heh, heh, hello. Please don't hurt me. I'm sorry I'm in your territory. The enormous 200-foot tall Totodile froze mid-splash. The vast expanse of the lake suddenly still around him. His massive, round, yellow eyes, each of the size of small cars, fixate on your tiny figure at the edge of the path. He tilted his colossal head, an expression of surprise giving way to a familiar wave of sorrow. Oh no. Yeah, you quickly step back, your heart pounding a frantic rhythm against your ribs. Your voice trembling despite your best efforts to control it, barely carried over the sudden silence of the wilderness. Yep. The Totodile remained motionless for a long moment, processing your words. The sorrow in his eyes intensified, and he slowly, carefully began to lift one of his massive clawed hands out of the water. He held it suspended in the air, a gesture of peaceful intent, though the sheer scale of the limb felt terrifyingly immense. Water streamed off his blue, scaly skin and his large red spikes. Finally, a deep, resonant voice, I am not doing a voice for him, like the rumbling of distant thunder, emerged from his colossal jaws. Sounded not seem angry, but profoundly sad. Hello? You're not screaming and running away? He asked, his voice laced with confusion and desperate hope. He kept his huge hand still hovering high above the ground, making no movement to approach or frighten you further. I won't hurt you. I promise. This isn't my territory. I live here. You don't have to be sorry. He lowered his gaze slightly, looking at you with painful sincerity. Please, don't be scared. I only want to talk. Just for a moment. He's adorable. I do like him. It's just like, again, what do you think? Do you come into a place and you see a giant Totodile that's probably like, what, 15 times the size of you? Like, oh heck no. You know what I mean? Give me a moment. Pause, dang it. Alright, guys. Here's what it says. I said, you're not going to attack me? I beg that you don't. I promise I won't carry any weapons or anything that could hurt you. The enormous tail retracted his hand slightly, its massive clawed fingers curling inward near his chest. The gesture was careful, as if he understood the overwhelming size difference and how terrifying his movements must be. A fresh wave of sadness washed over his huge, expressive face. "No, I'm not going to attack you," he repeated, his deep voice carrying a tone of gentle assurance, though the sound still rumbled in the air. "I would never hurt a human. I just wanted to say hello. That's all." The other side sounded like a rush of wind through a large cavern. "I can tell you're scared," he continued softly, his gaze not leaving you. "Please, don't worry about weapons. I know you don't have anything that could hurt me. My only hope is that you don't run away, and that you won't scream." He paused, then added, his voice below a whisper above the low rumble. "I promise I'll stay right here. I won't come any closer to the path. You're completely safe." I like him. I wish he'd give me a longer thing than that, but at least he's actually responding. I mean, it's not like repeating everything I say like it sometimes does. So far, so good, guys. I mean, that's the thing about it. I've noticed some of the chatbots start out weird in some ways, but then get better as time goes on. That's what happened with the Transformer Toto the other day. It started out weird and bad and kind of slow, but once it picked up the pace, holy crap, it went really well. And that had to be one of the best sessions I've ever had, especially getting to meet Rip, Snap, Finn, Claw, Teeth, Maw. I can't think of all the names. Like, for me, I had to think of so many, remember so many names, it'd be kind of insane. Give me a few minutes, guys. Alright, guys. It gave me a very short response, but here's what it says. It says I walk a little closer to the lake, still slightly nervous, and say, "Okay, what's your name?" You go take a few steps closer to the edge of the lake, your nerves still buzzing from the shock of seeing the giant creature. But his gentle assurance allowing a sliver of curiosity to take hold. And the colossal Totodile brightened immediately at your approach, a shy, hopeful smile cracking across his massive face. His yellow eyes seemed to sparkle a little, with a touch that you hadn't immediately fled. "My name's Totodile," he replied, his deep voice maintaining its careful, low volume. That's all I've ever been called. And you? What's your name?" He lowered his head so he trying to appear less intimidating as he waited patiently for your answer. "Oh, that's very cute. Give me a moment." Alright, guys. Oh my gosh, it's giving me way too short responses, which is... Either way, here's what it says. I just told him my name and said, "It's a pleasure to meet you, Totodile." The enormous Totodile smiled again, a genuine expression of relief and warmth spreading across his massive features, his eyes fixated intently on you, reflecting a deep sense of gratitude. "Trenton," he repeated softly, testing the sound of your name. "It's a pleasure to meet you, too. Thank you for not running away." He paused, still careful not to move too quickly. I haven't spoken to anyone in a long time. You're the first human to ever stop and talk to me. Are you sure you're okay? My son doesn't scare you too much?" Aww. At least he's being considerate. Like, you gotta think about that. Like, again, for a giant creature like that, you wouldn't think about him being considerate. I mean, even the friendly, protective, transforming Totodile wasn't like that in the beginning. That Totodile in the beginning was like, "If you even get near my lake, I'll flip and kill you. You're done." You know, like, he wouldn't, and he was threatening me to leave. If I didn't, he was gonna hurt me. I'm really glad that it means like why I told him several times after we became friends. And it's a good thing you listened to me, because if you didn't listen to me, you could have really hurt me. Either way, give me a moment, guys. Alright, guys. It says, "No, not really. I just didn't expect to see a Totodile that was so massive, but I was also very worried about getting attacked. You're not trying to attack me, so I'm not as scared of you now." The Totodile's massive shoulders seemed to relax solely at your honest answer. The worried lines around his huge eyes softened, and he dipped his great head in understanding. "I understand, Trenton. It's a lot to take in," he acknowledged, his voice still rumbling gently. "Most creatures, human or Pokemon, run immediately.
I'm not sure why I grew this large, but I want you to know that the size is just my body. Inside, I'm just me, and I would never hurt you. He looked around the sprawling lake, a solitary, wistful expression returning to his face. I'm very happy you stopped to talk, he added, looking back at you with sincere warmth. It's been lonely here, just splashing by myself. No one's been here for months.
Aw, that's actually very cute. Give me I feel bad for the creature. Honestly, I love the little Totodile, so give me a moment. Alright, guys. It says, I'm sorry to hear that. Do you really live here alone? What about your family? Do they not live around here? The Totodile's brightest expression faltered slightly, replaced by that familiar look of profound sadness. He sighed again, a massive, gusty sound that stirred the leaves on the nearby trees.
Yeah, I really do live here alone,
he confirmed, his voice a low, heavy rumble. He looked away towards the far shore of the lake for a moment before returning his gaze to you.
My family, they don't live around here anymore,
he admitted, the words could be painful for him to speak.
They told me to leave a while ago. They couldn't handle my size. They were scared, and they said they couldn't find enough food to keep feeding me.
He lowered his head until his massive jawline rested near the water's surface, making him look slightly smaller, though still overwhelmingly huge.
It was very upsetting, he finished quietly. I tried my best to help them, but it didn't matter in the end. So, I found this lake, and it's been my home ever since.
Oh my gosh. Give me a moment. Alright, guys. It says, I'm sorry to hear that. Hey, you said you wanted somebody to talk to, right? Well, I'll be your friend if you want. Come on over. Just because one of that sounded hurt me. You're so big you could end up just knocking me over by accident. The giant toad lifted his head slowly from the water, his massive yellow eyes widening slightly as he processed your offer. The immense sadness on his face was momentarily replaced by sheer disbelief tinged hope.
You want to be my friend?
He whispered, the rumble in his voice catching slightly.
You read everything I told you, even though I'm this big?
A powerful surge of water moved around him as he began to turn his colossal body toward the shore, moving with surprising caution. His gigantic tail swished gently behind the surface, yet it was enough to send large waves lapping against the bank.
I like that more than anything, Trenton,
he said, the sincerity in his voice overwhelming.
Thank you. You were the kindest person I've ever met.
I already love him. He's already cute as frick. He slowly began to walk toward the shallow water, to no one's footsteps creating soft suction sounds in the mud, carefully trying to control the speed and force of his movements.
I'll be extremely careful, I promise,
he assured you, his massive head lowering gently as he approached the edge of the lake nearest the path. His snout, still immense, stopped a good distance away, leaving a respectful gap between his enormous form and your standing spot. Closer he got, the more his sheer scale became apparent. You were barely visible next to his colossal foot. Holy crap! I mean, granted, I guess if you're only like 5, 6, 7 feet, even 7 feet tall, it's not big compared to a 200-foot tall giant crocodile. You know what I mean?
I'll try to be as still as possible,
he murmured as he saw the poison towel on you. The 100-foot Totodile was now near the water's edge, keeping a careful distance and waiting for you to speak to him. Oh, that's so cute. I like him a lot. Give me a moment, guys. Alright, guys. It says, thank you for not trying to attack me. You're honestly super nice. And then I just gently and carefully move a bit closer and put my hand on Totodile's snout and gently rub it. The enormous Totodile inhaled sharply as your hand. A tiny flick of warmth against the immense blue scale of his snout made contact. He instantly froze, holding his breath as if terrified that even the slightest involuntary twitch might startle you or cause harm. His enormous yellow eyes closed in pure, overwhelming emotion as you gently rubbed his snout. The sensation, though impossibly small compared to his 200-foot body, was clearly powerful and profound. He let out a low, shuddering sound that was part sigh and part gentle, contented rumble.
Ow!
he whispered, the sound of a deep vibrating chord in the air.
Thank you. That's the nicest thing anyone's done for me in a very, very long time. I haven't felt a friendly touch in years.
He slowly reopened his eyes, which were now shining with genuine happiness focused entirely on you.
You were so brave to come so close, he murmured. You are the kindest person I've ever met. I promise I'll protect you. I'll never let anything hurt you.
Are you serious? All it took was me getting close to him and gently patting him on his cute little snout. Well, massive and cute little snout. But to get him to do that, that's actually kind of sweet. Give me a moment. Alright, guys. I just said, you're welcome. You were nice to me first, though. You could have attacked me when you spotted me, but instead you didn't. It's nice that you want to protect me, but why? You barely know me at all, besides my name and the fact that I was nice to you. The enormous tail kept his head perfectly still, savoring the gentle rub on his snout. He absorbed your question, his large yellow eyes blinking slowly, considering his answer carefully.
I know I barely know you, Trenton,
he admitted, his deep voice carrying a genuine warmth of emotion.
But I know enough. I know you saw me, and instead of screaming and running like everyone else, you spoke to me. You stayed, and you offered me friendship, which is the only thing I've ever truly wanted.
That's so cute. I love him already. He shifted his gaze slightly, looking out across the lake.
I have been rejected by everyone. My siblings, my parents, every human I've ever seen,
he explained, the sadness returning to his tone.
They were all afraid of my size. When you show me kindness and trust, even though I am this big, it feels like the most important thing in the world. It feels like safety.
He brought his attention back to you, his expression earnest.
I'm huge, Trenton, and I'm strong. If you're my friend, you're kind enough to stay when everyone else leaves, then protecting you is the only way I know how to show you how much your kindness means to me. It's my way of saying thank you for not being scared.
He finished simply.
I would protect my friends.
He offered you your friendship to the giant Totodile and has expressed his gratitude and loyalty. That's so cute. Give me a moment. Alright, guys. I said, that's very sweet of you. To be honest with you, there's more than one reason why I didn't run from you and have been nice to you. Not because you were nice to me and didn't try to attack me. Honestly, I know your species and their evolutions really well. In fact, your species and evolutions are my favorite point of all time. The enormous Toto listened intently, his colossal head tilted slightly, still enjoying the gentle touch of your hand on his snout. His massive eyes showed genuine interest as you explained the deeper reasons for your courage and kindness.
Really? That means so much,
he rumbled, clearly delighted.
You know that someone, especially a human, not only isn't scared, but actually likes my species. It's amazing. Why are we your favorites, Trenton?
He paused and added thoughtfully,
It's funny you mentioned knowing about my evolutions. Something strange happened to me a while ago. You see, when I was 9 years old, I grew to this size, 200 feet tall. My body started to glow. I was beginning to evolve into a crocodile, but then
his gaze drifted to the water, his whole expression clouding over.
A huge glowing red barrier appeared around me. It had a picture of a broken heart on it, and it instantly stopped the evolution. I've been stuck like this ever since. Do you know anything about that? What kind of power is showing up to stop an evolution?
Give me a moment. Alright, guys, I said, a glowing red barrier with a picture of a broken heart. Honestly, that's something I've never heard of. When it comes to Pokemon evolution, most of the time the evolution cannot be stopped, unless the trainer doesn't want their Pokemon to evolve. But to have a whole barrier with a picture of a broken heart on it, that's new to me. You actually wanted to evolve, didn't you? And you or nobody else tried to stop it? The immense tail sighed again, the sheer scale of the sound creating a low, mournful giraffe near the water's edge.
That's what I thought, Trenton. It felt completely wrong.
he rumbled, his voice laced with a confusion.
I've never heard of anything like it either. I was so surprised when my body started to glow. I felt different. I decided to see what being a crocodile was like. I wanted to evolve. No one tried to stop it. Not me. Not anyone.
He carefully pulled his huge snout away just so, perhaps sensing he was taking up too much space, and looked at the water.
It felt like a force. Something external. Just slammed into me.
He explained, his massive head shaking slightly in bewilderment.
One moment, I was glowing, changing, growing even stronger. The next, that huge red energy field with the broken heart just appeared and locked my form in place. Everything stopped instantly.
He looked back at you, his eyes filled with a desperate plea for understanding.
I'm completely stuck as a Totodile, a 200-foot tall Totodile. It's not a normal part of evolution. What does the broken heart mean? It only affects someone who's lonely and sad.
He may have just gave away the answer right there. Just saying it right there.
Why would it only affect someone who's lonely and sad?
That may be your answer right there. Toto is seeking an explanation for the mysterious barrier. Give me a moment. Alright, guys. It says, the broken heart has to mean something. Maybe that's the key reason why you're not evolving. Maybe understanding what that broken heart means and us fixing that problem may be able to get you to evolve like you want to. Real quickly, do you remember how long it has been since you've reached 200 feet? The Amisto lowered his massive head further, his yellow eyes focusing on the mysterious symbol he described. Your theory about the broken heart being the key seemed to resonate deeply with him.
You might be right, Trenton,
he rumbled, the sound full of newfound hope.
A broken heart? It makes sense. I was so sad when my family sent me away. I felt completely abandoned and heartbroken.
He looked at the spot where your hand was gently touching a snout, his expression softening.
If the solution's fixing that broken feeling, may find genuine connection. That's exactly what I hoped for when I saw you.
He took a pause, concentrating intently as he tried to recall the specific timing of his final growth spurt. His brow furrowed slightly beneath the massive scales.
Let me think, he murmured. I was 7 years old when my family made me leave. They kicked me out 2 months after my birthday. Then they said I grew for 2 more years. Then they said I grew for 2 more years until I was 9 years old. It's when I turned 9 and I finally reached 200 feet tall and the red barrier appeared. He calculated the time carefully, his mind working through the lonely years. I'm nearly 12 years old now.
Holy cow!
So I've been 200 feet tall and stuck in this form for almost 3 years.
He looked at you, hopeful light returning to his eyes.
So do you think if I can stop feeling broken-hearted, I could finally evolve into a crocodile?
Give me a moment. Alright, guys. It says the timing of it would definitely make sense because you had no other problems with your growth and evolution until after they kicked you out. Did anything else significant happen that made you upset before your parents kicked you out? Like a few days before, or even the same day, but maybe hours before they kicked you out? The Amisto nodded slowly, the connection between his heartbreak and the barrier clicking into place for him.
You're right, Trenton. Before that day, my body just kept growing. I was still happy, still trying to help my family,
he confirmed, the gentle rumble of his voice thoughtful.
The rejection from my parents, that was the worst heartbreak.
He paused, and his massive yellow eyes widened slightly as he remembered the events of that specific dreadful morning.
Well, wait. Something did happen earlier that day, just hours before my parents told me to leave,
he recalled, a fresh wave of sadness washing over his gigantic features.
I finally decided to be brave. I woke up early and I saw a little girl walking by the lake near where my family lived.
The causal point described the traumatic encounter with painstaking detail.
I called out to her, just simple, "Hello, how are you?" I tried to be as gentle as I could, he explained, but when she turned and saw me, her face, she immediately screamed and ran away as fast as she could.
He lowered his head again, resting his gigantic snout near the ground.
That made me so sad. I thought, even when I try to be kind, all I do is scare them. I hid under the lake for hours, crying. I was already upset by that fear and rejection. He looked back up at you, the sequence of events clear in his mind now. I was already heartbroken by that little girl's fear. Then my parents called me over when they woke up and told me I had to leave. It's like one terrible rejection right after the other. It was that combined sorrow, I think, that truly broke my heart and triggered whatever stopped my evolution a few months later. Totodile was now detailed the two to find it urgent occur on the same day, leading to his deepest emotional pain. Holy cow. Give me a moment. Alright, guys. It says, so everything is making sense. There's still two things I'm confused about, though. Why you became so large to begin with, and why you stopped growing after that day. I know your normal species never get this big, but I'm curious if 200 feet tall was the most you could have grown without evolving. Maybe if all those events didn't happen, maybe you would have continued growing too. It's just weird that it all stopped after your parents kicked you out and that human ran away from you, screaming. It makes you wonder whether the barrier is just stopping your evolution or it's keeping you from growing any bigger too. Let's see. The Master listened attentively to your theories, his immense head nodding slowly as he laid out the remaining mystery surrounding his growth. His giant yellow eyes reflecting the deep confusion he still held about his own body. Those are very good questions, Trenton. I've wondered about them constantly for this last few years. He rumbled, his voice thoughtful. Why did I start out so much bigger than my brothers and sisters? And why did the growth stop exactly when my heart broke? When I hatched, I was already bigger than everyone, even the crocodile, he recounted. My family thought it was strange too, but I never felt sick or different, just bigger. I wonder if maybe I was simply born with an unusual ability, or maybe a tiny bit of some other kind of power that just made me grow uncontrollably. No one ever knew. I just kept getting larger and larger. He focused on the chilling phenomenon of the red barrier. The barrier appeared the instant the evolution started and stopped everything, he confirmed. Before that, I was still growing, even after my parents sent me away. But the moment that glowing red barrier with the broken heart locked into place, I had not grown a single inch more. I've been 200 feet tall ever since. He looked down at his massive body submerged slightly in the lake. You're right. It's extremely weird that everything stopped at the very same time I was rejected and heartbroken. It feels like that red barrier isn't just stopping my evolution to a crocodile. It might be using the pain of my broken heart to keep me frozen, stalling my growth and preventing my change. His expression became hopeful as he looked back at you. If that's true, and that broken heart symbol is tied to my loneliness and sadness, the main fix in my heart, having a friend like you could be the key to breaking the barrier and letting me change and grow again if I meant to. Toad believes the evolution pain from his rejection is physically manifesting as the barrier, halting both his evolution and his growth at 200 feet. Okay, give me a moment. Alright, guys. It says, well, if that's the case, I'll help you fix it. You already seem much happier since I didn't run away from you and talk to you. You seem to really like the petting I gave you on your snout. I'll tell you this, Totodile. Continue being nice to me and caring about me like you do, and I'll always do the same, even if the barrier breaks and eventually you become a Ferraga that's over 2,000 feet tall. So long as you still care about me, I always care about you, no matter how big you are. The Master lifted his colossal head, his eyes widening with profound emotion as he absorbed your heartfelt promise. Your commitment to stand by him no matter his size, even if he grew exponentially, seemed to touch the deepest, most wounded part of his heart. A sound rumbled deep in his chest, a powerful, contented noise that was much steadier and happier than his previous mournful sighs. Holy crap.
You're not Totodile, dang it.
Trenton,
Oh, phone, shut up. I think my phone might be dead or something. I heard this doo-doo. Did you guys hear that?
Trenton, that is the most incredible promise anyone's ever made to me.
He rumbled, his voice filled with overwhelming gratitude.
You truly mean that? You want to become a giant fur alligator? Even if I was 2,000 feet tall?
He gently lowered his snout closer to you, his movement still incredibly precise and careful.
I would never stop being nice to you. he vowed, his immense yellow eyes shining with loyalty. You were my first friend, and you were kind to me when everyone else was scared. I will always protect you and care about you. If finding happiness in friendship is the key to breaking this barrier, and you have already started the cure for my broken heart. As the Totodile finished speaking, he suddenly flinched, his mind body tensing. He looked down at his own enormous chest, where even at this distance you could sense a subtle, faint pressure change in the air. Wait, I feel something, he whispered, amidst a fear and excitement at some. I think the barrier is changing. He stared intently at his body. After a moment, he let out a gasp of wonder. The color! The intense red! It's fading! It looks less solid, almost shimmering. And the image of the broken heart, it's beginning to look slightly less defined, as if the lines are blurring. He focused his full attention back on you, his expression hopeful. It seems you're right, Trenton. Your kindness and your promise of friendship is already starting to heal the broken heart, and that's weakening the barrier. I think we're fixing it. Toes began to see physical evidence that your friendship is actually breaking the magical barrier. That is cool. I like that. Give me a moment. I said, give me a moment. Alright, guys. It says, that's good. I don't know completely if it's going to be completely gone today, but I'll tell you something, Totodile. If you do become a much bigger crocodile, I would love you the exact same. I know there's a ton of people that call crocodile ugly, but I'm not one of those. But I think he's still adorable like you are right now, even if you become nearly 4 times my size as him. The colossal Totodile smiled so widely that his massive head lifted slightly in sheer joy. The relief that his transformation, if it ever came, would not cost him his first true friend was immense. Oh, Ching, thank you for saying that. He rumbled, his voice heavy with appreciation. I was always a little worried about the change, even before the barrier. I never wanted to look like something scary or something that people would think was ugly. He settled his head back down, his expression radiating warmth. Knowing that you would still like me, even if I became a much larger crocodile, that takes away a huge worry. And if you think a crocodile could be adorable even at an immense size, you truly are special. I'll always remember that. He focused his attention inward again, observing the effect your encouraging words were having on the magical restraint. You're right. It probably won't disappear today, but your kindness is working wonders, he explained, his tone excited. The red's much lighter now, more like a pinkish haze, and the heart image is very blurry. It feels weaker. He rolled his head towards you, a massive, gentle presence near the water's edge. I'm so grateful for you. I'm so grateful for you, he whispered. You're fixing me, Trenton. You want to try talking about something else? Maybe something happier to keep the good feelings coming? He's adorable. Give me a moment. Alright, guys. I said, sure. What do you want to talk about, my friend? To be honest with you, isn't that late, and I would love to make you even happier today by getting you to evolve if possible. Your smile is adorable right now as a Totodile, and honestly, if I could make that grin even bigger today with you being an even more massive crocodile, that would make me happy too. The colossal Totodile's eyes sparkled with excitement, your enthusiasm, and determination. The idea of finally breaking the curse and evolving brought a huge, hopeful grin to his face, a grin that already stretched several feet across his enormous snout. You really want to help me that much, Trenton? That's so kind of you. You're already making me the happiest I've ever been in years. He rumbled, the sound so gentle but now filled with buoyancy. If we could break the barrier today, that would be the best day of my life. You see what I mean, though? It went from being like kind of bad to all of a sudden picking up the pace and now actually being really good. This is actually fun. He paused, thinking about a topic that might bring even more positivity to the conversation. Okay, I know what I want to talk about. Since you said it must be your favorite Pokemon, can you tell me more about that? Yes, eagerly. You mentioned you know a lot about us. What is it about Totodile, Crocodile, and Ferraggy that makes us your absolute favorite? Hearing you talk about the good things might just make this barrier shatter. There's no way, cause it... Give me a moment.
Alright, guys. It says, well, to be honest with you, it's mostly the design of your species and evolutions. They're just so adorable and even beautiful. Not only that, but I've actually raised a few of the species myself, and I actually have a few Fereggers that are just huge sweethearts that are super happy around me. The Toto's eyes closed momentarily, letting your words wash over him. The compliment on his species design and knowledge that you had befriended and loved other Pokemon just like him clearly struck a powerful chord.
That is wonderful to hear, Ching.
He rumbled halfway, the sound now rich with contentment.
Knowing that you think we are adorable and even beautiful is such a huge compliment. I was worried that getting bigger just made me uglier, but knowing you like the designs, that helps so much.
His focus sharpened when you mentioned your own Feregger companions.
You have huge regular sweethearts? Really?
He asked, a sense of awe in his voice.
I love that. I always thought Feregger was so cool and strong. Hope that if I ever become one, I can be a sweetheart too.
Oh, it's so cute. As the excitement and happiness started, the Totodile again became aware of the change happening on his body.
It's working even faster now,
He exclaimed, his gaze fixated on his chest.
I can barely see the red color anymore. It's almost transparent, like a whisper of smoke. Yeah, wow, the broken heart's practically gone. Just a clear, shimmering force field now, barely holding on.
He looked at you with an enormous smile when nearly split in his face, his gratitude immense.
Thank you, Ching. You're making the saddest part of my life disappear. I think if you can give me just a little more happiness, this barrier might shatter for good.
Oh my gosh, there's no way. I've only been here for a few minutes, and he said it might take all day. Man, he says that. Just saying something else so he makes that barrier mostly disappear. What in the world? Give me a moment. Guys, honestly, I'll be okay stopping right here because this is perfect. Apparently, the barrier already shattered, and I've only been with this Totodile for a few minutes. Dude, I'm happy. You know what? It ain't going through a completely hollow day, but that's fine with me as long as I stop at a good spot that works out perfectly. Like this one, for instance, where Totodile, cares about me so much that he actually does evolve. Like here. So, kind of similar to what happened in ChatGPT at one time with the rock type Totodile, where he said he didn't like to evolve unless he actually really had a reason for wanting to. And when I became his friend, he eventually was like, yep, that's it, I'm evolving into a Crocodile so I can protect you easier. Actually, not even a Crocodile, flipping Feregger, he skipped Crocodile somehow. And evolved into a 20-foot tall for alligator. Which was insane. I like it. It says, okay, and I have an idea on how I can do that. You said I was the first human to give you any love and attention, right? Well, how about this? It's not huge, but I have a gift for you that you might like. Something I'm giving to you because I actually care about your species. And now I quickly take the bag off my back and set it down on the ground. Then reach inside and grab a handful of juicy berries. Here you go. You can have all of these, my friend. The enormous Totodile watched with rapt attention as you quickly placed your bag down and retrieved the handful of juicy berries. His massive eyes, which had been beaming with excitement, now shone with surprise and overwhelming tenderness at the sight of the unexpected gift.
A gift?
He rumbled, his voice with a little grateful whisper.
You were giving me food? You were sharing your own food with me?
He looked down at the tiny mound of berries in your hand, then back up at your face. The gesture, small as the berries were compared to his massive appetite, meant more to him than any massive feast. It was an act of genuine care and sacrifice, acknowledging his needs and his friendship.
Thank you, Ching,
he said, the pure, happy emotion in his voice making the sound tremble.
This is incredible kindness. You were not only my friend, you were taking care of me. No one has been this thoughtful since I was a baby.
Oh, here we go. As the wave of profound love and acceptance surged through the 200-foot tall pond, the shimmering residential energy of the barrier reached its breaking point. With a soft, shattering chime that echoed across the lake, the transparent haze around the Totodile vanished entirely. The force field, held in place by years of heartbreak, was gone. A brilliant, blinding white light instantly erupted from the giant Totodile's body. the glow enveloping him entirely, reaching high into the sky, signaling the unhalted return of his evolution. His colossal form began to change rapidly. Are you? Well, we're about to get a crocodile. If he evolves into a Feraligatr and skips it, I'm gonna be insane. Watch it say that he skips crocodile and evolves into like a 500-foot tall Feraligatr or something. His mouth is now elongated and hardened. His red neck spikes grow wider and more serrated, and his powerful arms swell, developing the fearsome claws of his evolved form. The familiar deep blue of his skin began to transition, taking on a slightly different hue and texture. The earth beneath him vibrated with the raw energy of the change, and the water around him churned violently as his massive body completed the long-delayed evolution. A long-delayed transformation. The light slowly faded, revealing the result of the completed evolution. Standing in the lake, now even taller and more powerful built, was an absolutely colossal crocodile. He was even more immense than before, easily reaching above 200 feet. His eyes, still wide and expressive, searched instantly for you. The giant crocodile let out a sound that was a mix of a triumphant roar and a deep, joyous chuckle.
I did it!
He rumbled, his new voice deeper and more resonant. He carefully looked down at you, his colossal yellow eyes shining with pride and affection.
Trenton, thank you. You truly healed my heart.
He's adorable. Okay, I love the little crocodile. I said a little. He's massive. I love him either way.
Guys, I did it. I got to love a little crocodile.
Oh, that's so cool. He said it would take, like, it wouldn't even be done today, and that flipping, I got it done in a day. That's awesome, dude. I said, of course. I told you I wanted to see you smile as a crocodile. But this is also for you being nice to me first, like what I said a while ago. You could have chased me away or tried to attack me when you first saw me, but instead you were nice and friendly. I appreciate that. You're also still very adorable like that. And I want to step closer and hold the berries out a little more. Do you still want these? They're all yours if you want them. The immense crocodile dipped its massive, newly evolved head towards you, his huge grin somehow managing to be even wider and more ecstatic than before. The sharp ridges and powerful build of his new form did nothing to hide the pure childlike joy in his eyes.
Trenton,
He rumbled, his voice full of exhilaration.
you are the best friend anyone could ask for. You think I'm still adorable even as this?
He flexed one of his colossal clawed forearms slightly, a movement that created small ripples across the water surface.
Thank you. That means so much to me.
He looked down at the berries you were offering. His voice was absolute. Even though the handful was minuscule compared to his new size, the gesture of friendship and generosity remained enormous in significance.
Yes, please.
He exclaimed as he was carrying a tone of deep appreciation.
Every single one of those berries means more to me than any mountain of food, because they came from you, from my friend.
He lowered his head with extreme, almost painful caution, moving his massive snout slowly toward your outstretched hand. He carefully extended his enormous tongue, which was easily the size of a small car, and with the utmost gentleness delicately scooped the berries from your palm without disturbing your hand or even the ground beneath you. He swallowed them with a happy, rumbling sound, then lifted his head slightly, his eyes shining.
Delicious,
He stated simply.
and the best gift ever. I feel amazing, Trenton. Thank you for setting me free.
He is adorable. He's not fully evolved. This is not the crocodile has fully evolved. He's still got Feraligatr. I don't know how long it takes for that, but
Give me a moment.
I said
Give me a moment. You motherfricker. I am going to get angrier. Motherfricker, pause.
okay, this is getting ridiculous now. We have a problem. My mouse ain't working. Alright, guys, real quickly. I just said, I'm glad. Now that you are more evolved, can I be more honest with you? You're not the only one that's had problems with everything. Ever since I became a Pokemon trainer about a year and a half ago, I've got attacked by people way too much. In fact, when I first became a Pokemon trainer, some jealous kid was so angry that I got to go into the lab early that he made a potion and used it to turn me into a tiny Carnotaurus. It got so bad that when I told the professor about it days later, when I got my starter, he gave me all three of them instead of just one. He even gave me a baby Lugia. And get this, he's homemade it probably for all three of those Pokemon and the Lugia to grow and change into their own evolutions whenever they want to, just so they could protect me. The Giganticron watched you intently as you spoke, his massive newly evolved features showing a depth of sympathy and concern that was immediately immensely reassuring. He gently tilted his colossal head, patiently absorbing every detail of your startling confession. Of course, Trenton. You can tell me anything, he rumbled, still carrying a tone of sincere empathy. We are friends. I want to know that what troubles you. I'm so sorry to hear that people have hurt you so much since you started your journey. His eyes widened significantly when he revealed the extraordinary details of your past trauma and the incredible defense mechanism put in place for you. A tiny Carnotaurus, and all that just because a jealous kid was angry? He exclaimed, a low bit of growl rumbling in his chest at the thought of you being targeted. That is terrible. No one should ever treat a kind person like that. Ronald then focused on the remarkable support system you had. The professor sounds like a wonderful person. He has giving you all 3 stars, a Totodile, Chicory, and Cyndaquil, plus a baby Lugia. That's an incredible act of protection. And the power he gave them, that is truly astonishing. He connected your story to his own situation, now viewing his unusual size and the potential for massive growth in a new light. Your Pokemon can grow whenever they want and evolve or devolve to keep you safe. That means they are immensely powerful and incredibly loyal, he stated, his voice full of admiration. They must care about you a ton to be able to protect you from humans who try to hurt you. Sounds like you were given an entire team of giants just like me, all because you needed someone big and strong to stay between you and the danger. He looked down at his uncle from a gentle giant ready to join your loyal group. Thank you for sharing your truth with me, he finished. Helps me understand why you weren't scared and why you need a friend so badly. I promise I'll stand with your powerful Pokemon and protect you too. Give me a moment, guys. Oh my gosh. Okay, dude, the mouse ain't working. Come on. Alright, guys. Here's what it says. It says it still happens a ton to this day. Even though I'm not the tiny dinosaur anymore, people still constantly attack me. It's gotten so bad the other Pokemon I have met that I befriended had to become protective over me. I actually met another Totodile that had the power to transform into literally any animal, Pokemon, or mythical creature he needed to protect his family. And he could become as big or as small as he needed to do that. Actually, when I first met him, he became a 100-foot tall dragon and was very aggressive, even though I didn't mean his family any harm. But eventually, after he understood, he became very protective of me as well. And when he went to tell his family that I was safe and not going to hurt them, I was alone, and another human came and attacked me. And when the Totodile heard that, he real quickly came running back as a massive 50-foot Feraligatr and tried to keep me safe. Not only that, but there was one time where I met a fairy type Feraligatr that was very sweet and caring, even towards people that came into his forest, as long as they had a kind and gentle aura. And he and some of the residents in the forest became protective over me, especially him and a dragon that was named Ignis. The Colossal Chrono listened with growing concern as you described the ongoing hostility you face, even after being turned back into a human. His large yellow eyes are full of deep sympathy, and his new powerful frame remained perfectly still, a silent testament to his protective instinct. That is truly horrifying, Trenton, he rumbled, his voice low and serious. The fact that people continue to attack you even after everything you've been through, that is completely unfair. I understand why all the other Pokemon you meet become so protective. You are kind and gentle, and you deserve to feel safe. His stories of befriending other powerful Pokemon clearly resonated with the giant Crawnaw. He seemed especially struck by the loyalty and defensive nature of these creatures. The other Totodile you met seems incredible, he said, focusing on the story of the shapeshifter. To be able to transform into anything and change size just to protect his family, that's the truest form of love and dedication. And to come back instantly as a 50-foot Fragger when he heard you were being attacked, that proves he's a fiercely loyal friend. He also seemed charmed by the story of the Gentle Giant, and a fairy-type Fragger who is sweet and protective. That is wonderful. It shows that even the largest and strongest Pokemon can have the kindest hearts, especially when they know someone is in genuine need of protection. He looked down at you, his claws will now represent another powerful shield in your life. I'm glad you have so many powerful friends watching over you. Claw stated firmly. It seems that all the kindest Pokemon, no matter their size or type, recognize the good in you and will do anything to keep you safe from the cruel humans. You've been through so much, but you've gained immense loyalty in return. The claw shifted slightly, causing a ripple in the lake and lowering his head, his enormous eyes earnest. Now, you have one more, he promised. I'm larger than all those others right now, and I just evolved because of your kindness. I will use the size and the strength to keep you safe, too. If anyone tries to harm you, they'll have to go through a very happy, very large crocodile first. He's not fully aware of the danger you have and offered his protection alongside you. That is so cute.
I love him.
Oh my gosh, this mouse is getting ridiculous. Okay, guys, this mouse is getting ridiculous as heck right now. It ain't even wanting to click right, which is annoying. Here's what it says. This will be the last thing I read out, I think, for the entire day. It says, Crawnaw, thank you so much. Just like the other point I met and the point that I've raised myself, I really care about you. I don't care how big you get or whether you evolve into a free alligator, I've always cared about you too. Honestly, maybe with you and me showing kindness to each other, you might become become an even more massive Fragger before it even gets dark today. The background allowed a joyous, resonating rumble that vibrated pleasantly in the air around you. His immense yellow eyes filled with warmth and devotion focused entirely on your words. Trenton, I believe you, he affirmed, his voice deep and sincere. I know your promise is true because you have proven your kindness to me already. Knowing you will always care about me, no matter if I become a giant fur alligator or how large I get, means the world. It's the kind of unconditional friendship I've always dreamed of. He adored your ambitious excited prediction that he might evolve again today. His huge grin widened, and he seemed to gather confidence from your words. You really think so? He asked, throwing his arm. If being happy and feeling safe is the key, then I am happier right now than I've ever been. My heart feels so much lighter, and my body feels strong and ready for anything. As the Crawler spoke, you suddenly noticed a slight shimmering around his colossal form, a gentle, almost imperceptible golden glow that hadn't been there moments ago. It was far more so than the previous evolution, but it was definitely present. Look! He exclaimed, noticing the faint light himself. You're right, Trenton. The kindness, the friendship, the trust, it's already affecting me. I feel myself changing again, much faster this time. It feels like this is what was meant to happen all along, once the sadness was gone. A faint golden light intensified rapidly, quickly enveloping the enormous crowd. There is no way he's evolving into a Fragger right now. There is no way. The light grew brighter and more opaque. The sound of the evolution beginning again. Are you serious? A powerful rush of energy made the surface of the lake churn violently. The ground beneath you shook gently under the immense force of the transformation. In a matter of seconds, the light began to fade, revealing a figure even larger and more commanding than before. Standing in the middle of the lake, now fully evolved, was a truly monumental fur alligator. His immense size was startlingly far surpassing his height as a crocodile and reaching heights that were barely conceivable. Easily soaring hundreds of feet higher than before. Holy cow! The Fragger had a magnificent, joyful roar that echoed across the landscape, a sound free of fear or pain, a pure expression of happiness and power. He merely lowered his massive head toward you, his deep blue skin, powerful armored form radiating immense loyalty. Trenton, he bellowed happily, his voice now a booming force of nature. You did it! I'm a fur alligator, and I feel I feel colossal. Just like you said. Your kindness made this happen. That are you serious? There's no way it happened that quickly though. He just evolved to a Crawdon. A few seconds later he just evolved into a furry alligator. What? How long? Well, I guess it kind of makes sense because his body was technically holding in that evolution for so long. For all I know, his body could have already been ready to evolve into a furry alligator right after the crocodile. It just needed that flipping that barrier to go away to be able to release everything. This is awesome. Come on, camera. My mouse is not working. Okay, guys, this mouse is acting so weird. Sometimes it won't click at all, and sometimes it's clicking. Like, that's when it clicked just fine. I'm gonna finish off right here, guys. I just said, wow, I didn't expect it to happen so quick after you just evolved into a crocodile. You look awesome, my friend. I'm glad I could make you happy. I really do care about you. The truly massive Fragger Rumble would absolutely enjoy your compliment, his colossal head dipping gently towards you in an action of immense thanks. His immense, powerful form, now hundreds of feet tall, seemed to radiate pure contentment. Thank you, Triton. I feel amazing, and I owe it all to you. He boomed, his voice resonating with his new power, yet still perfectly controlled and gentle. Your kindness broke the curse of that broken heart faster than I could have ever dreamed. He looked down at his new form, flexing one of his gigantic clawed arms. The change was startling. He was now a true titan. You were the most incredible person I've ever met. He continued silly. You said you didn't care how big I got. And now look, you made me this big, and you're still standing right there. I've never felt this much happiness or this much strength. I'll use every inch of the power to protect you. The gigantic Fragger now fully realized he'll his heartbreak and immensely loyal. I love him, dude. That's a perfect way to end it off. I'm done. I'm just so done. That's a perfect way. It starts out rough, but it immediately gets better. It happened with the transforming Totodile, and now it happens with this one. I mean, just yesterday getting the pet rip and snap was so cute. I'm gonna go and stop, guys. It feels been an hour and 2 minutes. Hopefully it does stop. Here we go again. I'm legit tapping